It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, this is National Crime Victims Week, and on Wednesday at the Wayne County Courthouse, local district attorney's office held its annual memorial service for crime victims. District Attorney Keith Higgins gave the welcome. On hand were Wayne County Sheriff Chuck Mosley, Police Chief Perry Morgan, Jesup Mayor Ralph Hickox. A solo was performed by Gwendolyn Lockley, sister of one of Wayne County's victims, Jesse Evans. Guest speaker for the event, another crime victim survivor, Joy Birch Meeks, whose brother Ron Birch was killed in his driveway back in 2011. Here was part of George Birch's message on Wednesday afternoon.
And at 41 years of age, he was gone. So what happened next? Our lives were changed forever. You remember the Survivors Club? Nod with me. Your lives are changed forever. The loss of Ron took a toll on every member of our family. It changed all of us. Here's what happened though. Our community came together to support our family. Our friends, other family members, they held us up during that time. Our law enforcement, at the time it was Sheriff John Carter, he led those men and they held us up. Our local and state, we had to bring, the GBI was involved in Ron's case, the state law enforcement, the local law enforcement, they held us up. They supported us. They arrested the perpetrator of this crime. But as all of you know, the journey's far from over after the crime is committed. The crime happens. Someone may be arrested. Some of you may not have had the satisfaction to have someone arrested. And my heart hurts for you for that. And we'll talk about justice as I keep going. For us, the perpetrator was arrested. Then District Attorney Jackie Johnson moved quickly to indict, for which that we were grateful. A trial began in October 2012, and while necessary, for those of you that have walked it, it's still difficult. You have to relive the crime. Through that, again, law enforcement, our community, our DA's office. At the time, the crime victims advocate leader was Sherry Ann Westbury, and she became a dear friend to us. She walked us, as I know all of you, you walk those survivors through the process. You tell them their rights. You walk them into that courtroom and sit with them, and you prepared them for what they're going to have to hear and deal with. She kept us informed throughout the entire judicial journey. She cried with us, and she had made such an impact and so special to our family. We walked through this arduous task of a trial, and as many of you know, as I've said, you relive the crime again, but you do it in pursuit of justice for your loved one. An appeal trial we received a guilty verdict, but then an appeals trial came. You walked through it a second time. And for us, we went all the way to the state Supreme Court in 2017. We are thankful that we had the benefit of watching our justice system do its job. It's a journey, and after the loss of a loved one, for some of us, after the judicial system has made its ruling, we must still make a choice. How will I live in the after? Because again, our lives have been changed. It's the after.
And once again, those comments that Joy Birch Meeks at the ceremony yesterday. Also at the ceremony, they read the names of all the victims in Wayne County dating back to 1973 up until present day. DA Keith Higgins says the ceremony is an important event for the victims of these crimes, which will continue annually to remember the victims and the survivors of those victims in the ceremony held Wednesday afternoon at the Wayne County Courthouse. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news, the Wayne County Board of Education met Tuesday after executive session announced that they've agreed on a 2-year contract extension with School Superintendent Dr. Sean Kelly. That contract now runs up until the end of March of 2026. Other news from the meeting on the agenda was budget discussion for fiscal year 2024. The superintendent told board members that the school system is still waiting on information from the state and need that information before they can simply discuss the budget for next year. Kelly says that information should be arriving shortly and budget discussion will begin then. They would like to have an improved agenda or approved budget by the end of June. The board voted to release the Wayne County Board of Commissioners from its lease on the Piney Grove Community Center and designated the property surplus as they plan to sell the property, which belongs to the Wayne County school system. Several recognitions at the school board meeting on Tuesday. The Milton Murphy Community Service Award was presented to Nikita Foreman, assistant principal at Martha Ross Smith Elementary, for her work in establishing a student choir, which was recently selected to perform at Disney World. Also recognized as the Good as Gold recipients from the Maintenance and Transportation Departments. The employee from the Transportation Department is Mrs. Faye Thornton. The employee from the Maintenance Department is Ricky Roberts. Also, the FBLA students and advisor Tara Whitaker were recognized. Whitaker as FBLA Region 3 Advisor of the Year. Students Emily Boatwright, who won Region's Who's Who $500 scholarship. The Battle Chapters team of Emily Boatwright, Lucy Lewis, and Jackson Druger placed second in state. Emily Boatwright and Landon McReady received awards for 500 hours of community service. Once again, all that from Tuesday's school board meeting. Wayne County Commissioners have their agenda for Monday, May 1st, and once again on the agenda under old business is consider and approve removing the rapid response position from EMS. Again, a lot of people still trying to figure out what the rapid response is. Again, we've got EMS Director Richard Johnson in studios today on the Butch and Bob Show to talk about this rapid response position and what it's all about. And that's coming up today on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Under Citizens Concerns, Monday, Francisca Metcalf and Kara Price with Bright Night Power Solar Project under development in the region. Juanita Holsey, Bostic, to talk about indigent attorney bills. A lot of bids on the agenda for Monday. Also on the agenda is consider and approve the Tourism Board Agreement, consider and approve a J.C. Landing Well Agreement, discussion of the EMS truck rotation, consider and approve special event permit, and Mayor Jason Weaver Scriven is on hand to talk about recreation in Scriven, Georgia. Items with the administrator, items with the commissioners, executive session to discuss land acquisition and personnel, and all that stuff for this coming Monday, May 1st at the County Commissioners Meeting Room at 7 p.m. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in the news, City of Scriven Mayor and Council have a call meeting set for Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. at their new community center in Scriven, Georgia. The purpose of the call meeting is to discuss budget for fiscal year 2024 and also discuss SPLOST funds as SPLOST negotiations will soon begin with the county government and the three municipalities of Wayne County, Jesup, Odom, and Scriven. Once again, that call meeting is set for tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. And the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce Annual Legacy Dinner is set for June the 29th at the Pine Forest Country Club. Each year, the Chamber recognizes the Small Business of the Year, the Business Leader of the Year, and hands out the James Harper Distinguished Service Award. Chamber this time is taking nominations for those awards up until May the 5th. So if you have someone in mind to nominate, simply contact the Chamber of Commerce at 427-2028. Again, the 11th Annual Legacy Dinner date has been set. Once again, the date June 29th at 7 p.m. at the Pine Forest Country Club. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.